Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz. It is April 18, 2017, 1223 a.m. in Birmingham. Topic, September 23, 2017. This is when Jupiter exits Virgo. It is the child leaving the mother is full term. It's going to be born. But yet you have the red dragon there ready to consume the baby. And at that time, the tail of the dragon will swipe across the heavens, knocking a third of the stars to the ground. And I'm listening to a gentleman just a moment ago. He's telling you that these are literal stars. That is not the case. Then he brings up the fact that a Comet Chaser, whatever it was that they sent out to land on the comet, that it went up, 15 years ago and caught up with a comet and landed. He also mentioned that, and it crashed on the comet, and that is the case. It did happen. But he's trying to draw that comet into September 23, 2017. Said, now, if we can do that and land on this comet, then all of a sudden you're going to have a third of the stars that they're literal asteroids or meteors that are falling to the ground. That is not the case. If you had millions of Volkswagen-size rocks falling to this earth, well, there'll be no need for the angels who fell to come down and wipe out a third of the population because the meteors will do it. Well, and that's why it's not meteors. They are literal stars, but in the book of Enoch is interpreted as angels. You have angels there that God placed. Only one moved out of his place, and that angel was punished by Michael. God sent Michael, go down and put him in timeout. He moved, and Michael did. He went down and took this angel and put him in timeout, and the angel is still in timeout. Well, I don't know where he is, but that's what I'm calling it. And but when the tail swipes and a third of the stars fall, guys, if this happens, truly happens on the 23rd of September this year, and if these events come to pass as being described by hundreds of people today, then you can better believe the tribulation has begun. But I don't think we're that close to the tribulation. I don't believe we're that close because of multiple reasons. Another good reason, I believe we're going to see, and we're going to see it. I mean, it's not a believe, it's going to happen. We're going to see the Ezekiel 38-39 war. We will see 5 out of 6 that goes against Israel. They'll die that night on the mountains above and around Israel. God will cause confusion, just like he did with the 300 that attacked, the 200,000. He caused confusion. They all had clay pots with fires in them. And the ram's horn, and then bursting the pots all at the same time. They surrounded the valley where the 200,000 were, and these guys went crazy, and they killed each other. Same thing is going to happen on the mountains above and around Israel. In the fog, in the night, something is going to trigger an event that will cause them to panic, and they'll kill each other. The jets in the skies will shoot their own people out of the skies. The people on the ground will kill their own people that's on the ground. They won't make it into Jerusalem. They won't make it down into Israel. That is yet another time. That is the final war. That is the Battle of Armageddon, when they get into physical Israel Jerusalem, where they split the city. And this is when God says, if you're on a housetop, don't finish what you're doing. Get off and run. Don't go in the house and take anything. Get out of Dodge. And Micah will get them all off and take them into the wilderness, which is in Petra in Jordan. But there's a problem there. 2/3 of them will be cut off. And by 2/3 being cut off, that means 2/3 of the Jews will die. Now, that's in Israel. That doesn't mean everywhere. Naturally, all the Jews will not be in Israel at that time. But he has been calling them home for years, and they have been going home for years. And but 2/3 of those will be cut off because something is going to snap in the brains of all the Arabs, and they're going to start killing Jews. Just kill them. Raping, pillage, plunder, taking spoils of war. But there was no warning given to the Jews except what we are reading here. And we believe it. But the Jews are still waiting for Christ to come as a mighty warrior and save them. So they're passing up on this as well. That's why so many will die. But the stars that fall from the sky, they will be angels. And the reason I say that this is not the time for them to come down and make war, because when they do that, that will kill 1/3 of the world's population. And it'll do it in the first 3.5 years of the 7-year tribulation, 1,260 days. And I'm hearing all of a sudden 1,290 days for the second half, and I'm still trying to get some insight in where they come up with the additional 30 days. So I don't know. But the stars were placed by God a very long time ago, and they're angels. They're bright angels. They're white, and they give off the light. And they're for us to plant, to harvest, to reap, sow and then reap. And, they're for the seasons, and there's so many things. They're for us. They're for maiden voyages from Europe, across the seas, and from other places. This is why they use the moon. New moon. There's always got to be a new moon. You got to see a tiny sliver of it, call it a new moon. And then they know by the stars what comes next, and they know which way to steer the vessels. And it's going strictly by the new moon and the stars on that night. And so the stars are placed there by God for many, many reasons. And you can understand when one gets out of its place, it throws confusion. So I don't know what God did. I don't know if he replaced that angel that moved with another or what. I didn't get to that. I mean, it wasn't in Enoch. It's just that that angel was punished. And but I just want to tell you, I do not. But who am I? I don't know a date. I do not expect a rapture of the church, at least for the next 3.5 years, at a minimum. And the reason, because I keep seeing the prophecies and hearing the prophecies that Donald Trump will be our president. And one person mentioned 2 terms. Only one person did. But if he's going to be our president for a term and we're going to prosper greatly, then we need more than less than 1 year to do it in. And September 23 is far less than 1 year. January 20th will be 1 year. So, I hate that thing when it turns off on me. But I just wanted to bring some of this up And I know a lot of people have asked me, this guy is saying this, and this guy is saying this. Well, the Bible is saying this, that those stars are angels. They're not asteroids, not rocks. Doesn't mean that one or two won't come and hit us, or one and two or two won't come so near that fragments will break off and hit us. This is where wormwood comes from, and it poisons, what, a third of all water. And anyway, along with all this, NASA, again, they got it down. They're still not telling of something that around about this date, September 23, they're not holding it to that date, 30 days either side of it, but they said something's going to happen. And let me tell you what, this right here would really, really explain this very well. And I would urge you, just try to look it up on YouTube. Right here, this is from a brother, and but can you see that label? The King is coming, and you see the name of the person right there, Mike Williamson, www.prophecyfacts.com. I want you to see that. So if you go there, maybe listen to this, and you have this many, but the whole thing is just 2 hours long, the whole thing here. So that would be very interesting answers to monumental questions, among other things. But if you go there, I believe that you will find a lot of the things that you're looking for, a lot of things that you would like answered. And this man tells you up front, he said, I will not give you a date. I will give you the facts. You choose the date. And so he kind of leaves it up to you. And your guesstimate will be pretty close to mine and most other people that hear him, because he's dead on. Jody Wolf Exposed.